back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I make turtles.
It's now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
What is going on out there, Woodward Sports Network Nation? Yes, D-Mac, and guess what? On a pontoon, world's fastest pontoon, but we're driving it today. Yes, you're tuned in. There it is. Take a look if you're watching or tuning in on YouTube. You can catch us Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch. Download the Woodward Sports app, Apple, Google Play. Listen on the radio, The Roar, 99.1 FM, 93.5 FM, 94.7 HD2. Download wherever you listen to podcasts. That's Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. That's a way to start the show. I am four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty, bringing you Big D Energy. Neil Rule, isn't it? We're going to talk to the boys later, but he's off on assignment. Isn't that neat? As we got Snowmageddon 22 coming at you, we will keep you updated. Sam Fisher, our junior meteorologist in the fishbowl, he does it all. Joined today and for the next few days by my boy, your boy, our boy, Easy.
Oh, yeah.
We got to bring in one of the heavyweight heads, bringing in the offensive line, letting the boys eat. As always, we got Sawyer on the ones and twos. As I said, fish in the fishbowl. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, guys. Before we get into, you know what, I'm not going to jump into the Jim Harbaugh stuff. I want to sort of save that for a little bit later. Obviously, we'll save it for. Let's save it. Sorry for the second segment. What I want to know is Easy back on the chair. I can't remember the last time you and I have chopped it up like this. But what's been going on with Easy? What's going on in the world of mixed martial arts? The fight. You beat anybody else up? Did you squash anybody else last time? Little update, Easy and Stick went at it, and has there been any fights and everything going good? Give the family the Big D Energy update.
We've been good, man. We started the Woodward Heavyweight podcast. My boy Spence, shout out to Spence, fellow heavyweight in the back. He is dipping out on Valentine's week, though. He's going down to California. I might have to tag in Sawyer or somebody to fill in that week or something. I don't know. Get a little spicy with it. But pretty much is that, man. Grinding. No fights. I'm actually out of shape. I need to maybe get into fight shape in case that happens because you put that back in the air. But no, man. Stick was actually talking trash the other day. He was like, I was pushing you.
Isn't
I was
it
like,
rematch time? Like, what is the rule in boxing? Because usually there's a rematch. But how much time usually goes on? Because this has been like 6 months, hasn't it?
It's been a minute, yeah. It's kind of crazy to think that I've been here that long. I still feel so brand new being at WSN.
I know, but I can't believe you lasted that long either. Anyways,
the same.
No,
man.
that's good. But no, you mentioned that. Obviously, we bring up Spencer. People have seen integral part behind the scenes, and is Easy's to me is shows you put the work in, you put the time in, and good things come to it. So, what are you looking forward to covering? We got a lot of things to cover today. I know that now that I had you two on the set, we're going to get into a little later. Is a little bit younger perspective on what's going on in these Detroit sports teams, because you know I sit and I look. I'll be 50 in April. Neil's over 40. T. Foss ain't younger than I am. So sometimes we come at you with all this rust and scars and stuff about what we've seen that you guys don't know. So we're going to talk a little bit stuff like that a little bit later on. Obviously, I want to dip into your head about the Cade Cunningham, about the Pistons. We'll talk some Red Wings. I know that you and I were, as we talk about these things, but you had some questions, right? Because you're getting a little bit eager, but questions coming down the pipe and stuff like that. And you know what? For the fans out there, you want us to talk some more hockey and different things like that, we can do that because the powers that be are me.
Hey.
So we got all that coming up for you guys. Obviously, we're going to touch into and this is where I want to start, Easy, and we can get into it a little bit deeper later. But the Brian Flores, who, if anybody doesn't know, was one of Bill Belichick's assistants in New England, was hired by Miami, just got fired. Anyways, yada yada yada. He just filed, and he was a black head coach. And if you're, I can't read that easy. You're gonna have to read that. So yes. Adam Schefter reported.
He says former Miami head coach Brian Flores is suing the NFL, the Giants, the Dolphins, and the Broncos for alleged racism in hiring. He includes text from Patriots head coach Bill Belichick in the suit as evidence. Lawsuit filed in Manhattan federal court seeking unspecified damages from the NFL.
What was your initial reaction when this came out? Because I have a few, and not only the first one was, well, he doesn't want to coach again. Yeah. But this all stems back, and if people don't really understand, do you have the Rooney Rule there, Sawyer? So this goes with owners in the NFL hiring or interviewing minorities, and they implemented this thing called the Rooney Rule, named after the Pittsburgh Steelers owners, the Rooneys. So go ahead, Sawyer.
In May of 2020, and the league changed the Rooney Rule to require teams to interview at least 2 external minority candidates for a head coaching job and at least 1 external minority candidate for a coordinator job.
So, and here's the problem, right? And they go with the text. There was a text from head coach of the Patriots, and as a friend, and I'm sure as a former associate, but he congratulated Brian Flores on becoming the head coach of the New York Giants, which he wasn't. Yeah. He was going back for a second interview
on
Thursday. They hired Brian Dable, so he sent it to the wrong Brian, or did he? But to me, this just cracks open something that isn't new. It's sort of been going around, but I think this is the time. And to me, it's a balance, right? What do I always say? Follow the money. So. Yeah. If we can honestly say, right, can the three of us agree Brian Flores, even though he got fired from Miami as an NFL head coach, right? We can agree on that.
Oh, yeah.
Can we agree on the small side estimate that he would be on the low end, or for argument's sake, $5 million a year coach?
Yeah.
Okay. And at his age, which I'm not sure his age, but he's not older, he's not younger.
He's like 42.
42.
Yeah.
He can coach arguably 25, 30 years. Is that a true statement that I said?
True.
So right there, 30 times 5, I'm a hockey player that can add. That's $150 million. So for me, it's looking at the bigger picture. Is not only do you have something, is there something bigger than this? Is this when it cracks? Because he's got to sit there and say, is this worth it? You guys don't know, but a guy named Curt Flood in Major League Baseball was also a colored guy who stood up for free agency. And it sort of cost him, where it blackballed him pretty much from Major League Baseball, which is, do you see this happening? I see this happening from the NFL, him not coming back. So in saying that, you're not going to self-sabotage your money like that. That means that he's, in my mind, because you're going against the NFL.
Yeah.
This is a lawsuit against the NFL and the actions and stuff.
Who we recently just saw blackball Colin Kaepernick, like similar scenario.
Well, it's not saying that they can't do it. The fact is he's got it. There it is. Ding, dong, ding. Whatever, play the bell, right? The NFL will do that.
Yeah.
This is going to happen. But what I'm saying on Flores' end, you have to have something there because the bag's got to be at least $150 million or bigger with what you have. There's some more... There's some more tweets that are coming up here.
So you might have to read the one in white, but I see the one from Field Yates. It says, this quote from Brian Flores is powerful. He knows he's risking his coaching future with this lawsuit. This is about much more than just his own coaching future.
Yeah, and then the white is the actual quote from Flores, and it says, God has gifted me with a special talent to coach the game of football, but the need for change is bigger than my personal goals. And then it just, Flores said this in a release put out by the law firm representing him in the case. And making the decision to file the class action complaint today, I understand that I may be risking the game that I love and that has done so much for my family and me. My sincere hope is that by standing up against systematic racism in the NFL, others will join me to ensure that positive change is made for generations to come.
It's tough, man, and it's crazy too because you're always preaching the why. And I remember more specifically, we sat in that chair there and you told me, as long as your why is driving you and you have like a reason for it, like you're true to your why, I can't like harp you for what drives you because that's what drives you and that's what you're passionate about. And Brian Flores, that's the first thought I had too, is like, wow, he's throwing away possibly his whole like career with this. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's still like head coaching vacancies out there. You got Jacksonville, you got the Vikings, the Texans, the Saints, all jobs that we both agreed he's more than qualified for, right? But he has a bigger cause behind this. He has a why that's driving him to do it. And you know, however you feel about it, vice versa, either way, I respect it because again, that's a big bag you put out there. He said, well, upwards of $150 million possibly, or whatever it was. Like
for argument's sake, just to get a rationale of what he's walking away from, and easy, you gave me chills, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You not only gave me chills because you actually listen when I talk, but the fact is that how you can apply it, and you applied it the same way I applied it to this situation.
Yeah.
And there's things in this life, trust me, that are bigger than any dollar. I live by one.
Yeah.
The plant, finding the comfort through the plant. That's my calling.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the day. Well, he sees it, and at certain times, and I guess my question is, and by the way, yeah, I mean, when somebody beats Detroit, Dabber 313 to the chat, then I might mention it. But Dabs, you got it again. You must have been out there shoveling snow early. Which, by the way, send me in. I don't want none of my Big D Energy or Woodward Sports fam going down to shoveling snow. So let's just pay the neighborhood kids, or maybe we'll get Fish or Easy to come on over and figure it out. But at the end of the day, right, when your why is bigger than anything else, and it's just, to me, this has a lot of not substance, but this is shocking, right? This is gonna shake a little bit of the foundation of what the NFL is, because when you go against the superpower, the monolith, the one with all the power, the one that can blackball you, Colin Kaepernick, the one that will blackball you for whatever less reasons, that you gotta have something there, and it's sad because I saw the article too that and I'm paraphrasing this, but something with Jim Caldwell's dismissal in Detroit, where Brian Flores mentioned that too. So it's just something that I believe, best person, male, female, whatever, for the job, that's what you always want to look for.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, I don't drink anymore, but if you do, you want to look for the best vodka.
Dude,
the best vodka.
Are you talking about gypsy vodka?
The gypsy vodka.
Gypsy vodka?
Isn't
The
that where
best
you would
vodka?
go? What do you think Neil's doing right now? He's not doing Oakland games. Those are recorded. He's down on a beach somewhere leaving us drinking 2 limes. Anyways, that gypsy vodka you're talking about?
Yeah, if you're at home, you're cold, a good way to stay warm is get some gypsy vodka. It was distilled 50 times before they found the perfect formula, the perfect batch to bring to you guys. And you can find it anywhere. Meijer, your local corner store. Just be safe out there, man. Make sure you stay warm. Get those neighborhood kids to shovel your driveway. And don't fall. Don't get any crashes. Just stay home. Stay warm with that gypsy vodka. We'll be right back. This is Big D Energy.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Here at Woodward Sports, we're always up for a good cause and a good time. This year, we present the 2022 Cupid Sunday Run. Yeah, you heard right. Time to get in our underwear and run the streets of Detroit. For the last 12 years, we've stripped down, ran in the cold, and partied to raise money to help fund research to end NF. February 12th, join the staff from Woodward Sports and hundreds of other beautiful people downtown at the Tin Roof. You can register as an individual or your team today at woodwardsports.com. So start doing those squats, sit-ups, or just some 12-ounce curls. And get ready for Cupid Sunday Run 2022. Sponsored by the awesome people at Gypsy Vodka, Cintron, and Planet Fitness. We'll see you February 12th at the Tin Roof in our underwear.
Yeah. Welcome back to Big D Energy. Darren McCarty here with Easy on this hump day. It's Wednesday. You know what that means, Ease?
What does it mean?
AW tonight. Tune on in. It's on TNT. Anyways, let's get into it. We all want it. First Twitter poll, or not Twitter, YouTube poll of the day. Jim Harbaugh. He's gone.
He gone.
My question to you, Easy.
Yeah.
Does he have a pair of purple khakis?
It's looking like it. I mean, reports. It's kind of it's weird though because like Sunday you saw reports he's gonna sign with the Dolphins, and before that there was reports he was gonna sign with the Raiders. So I just don't know what to believe at this point. But at this point, when it's coming this deep into it, like I think today is National Signing Day in college football, and the fact that he's taking an in-person interview in Minnesota with the Vikings kind of makes it to where I don't know if he can come back to the University of Michigan and coach. How are you going to sit there in front of a kid's parents or even the kids themselves at the team and say, hey, I'm here for you guys when like on National Signing Day, you're over interviewing for an NFL job. The fact they're even like publicly, I mean, it's not up to him that's public, right? The reporters report that stuff, and that's how it gets out there. But the fact that he's entertaining it, just like I think shows he's not all the way in with Michigan football. And if he is, it's going to be hard to convince those guys of that. I think he may become a Minnesota Viking. And as much as it cringes me to say, that skull chant in the beginning, that's kind of lit. It's kind of hype. I can't lie.
No, it leads to some other things. But here's the thing, right? Usually you get your commitments and the commitment day earlier, so this signing day and stuff like this. But we were talking about this yesterday. The transparency he has had with the university, with the board manual, talking about wanting to check out some interest and way it's been out there. The transparency's been there. It hasn't been the behind the scenes. It's not like in college the Brian Kelly or it comes down to coaches leaving. I think they want to know. That's why I put up on the Twitter poll. Like I think people just want him to make a decision. Yeah. Right. Which to me is I think he's a better NFL coach than he is a college coach anyways. As if you're watching on the YouTube, Sawyer's throwing around some beautiful memes because people are great with some memes. That one looks like a Star Wars one.
I can't read the text on the top one there. What does it say, Sawyer?
It's like the classic Anakin Skywalker Padme one, and it's Harbaugh saying, you will have a good season this year at Michigan. And then Padme's like, we will both have a good season at Michigan, right? Then he's just smirking. And then she says, we'll both have a good season at Michigan, right?
What do you think of this, of the move or the fact that the him and Han, that's why it's sort of what I said yesterday is he realizes, I believe, that Michigan, because I think if he was smart, he would have went and said, we need to compete more in the NIL, more compete in the transfer portal. That's how we're going to get better if we're going to be one of these top four teams. And you just don't see that commitment, right, by Michigan. So I understand the frustration where he realizes the whole thing is he's got to take that, what do they call it, the thing in the bottle. whatever like that. You'd say whatever. Mess that small window that he has. Right? Small window. Because if he goes out and he loses Ohio State next year or doesn't beat Michigan State or doesn't have, because you look at the team and whatever else, then he's back to negotiating. Because they don't want, if they wanted him, they would have paid him already. I don't think Michigan I think this is one of the things that it's the best of both worlds.
That's a good point. I think that's a good point because, like, if they wanted to keep him, they would have brought that contract to him anyway.
Think about it back when Tucker signed and then Kelly goes and then guys are moving here and there and there's $10 million here. Lincoln Riley's going to USC. Going to change this.
Jets.
That's usually when it happens, right?
Yeah.
Now is the fact that it hasn't, so it makes me wonder. Right, it makes me wonder. It'll be interesting. But
if that's the case, like who's next in store, though? You know,
well,
because you got to be prepared to replace him.
Well, I guess the front runner, who everybody says is Mike Hart.
Yeah.
But you don't even let Mike Hart do interviews, because of the little brother comment.
Yeah.
He doesn't. The coach he does is one of the coaches that doesn't do interviews because of that. So you can't hide from that when you're a head coach. So I think that because there's no direction. Right, because you don't know where you're going. Mm-hmm. Usually, it's like, okay, this guy's going to come in. You're going to know he's moving on and stuff like this.
Yeah.
My question more is, do you, as a Lions fan or as viewing the NFC North, are you fearful about Harbaugh in Minnesota?
No.
With that team or whatever, or is it just because Minnesota's the perennial 8-9, 9-8, 10-8 team?
Yeah, so I actually...
Until I get rid of Kirk Cousins.
I got a bit of a hot take with this one.
Woohoo!
Yes, sir.
Hot take by Easy.
Fresh off the press. You know what I'm saying? But but honestly, like, you look at Jim Harbaugh's record at Michigan, 61-24. Overall, looks like fantastic. Looks great. However, in the 7 years there's been tons of shortcomings. And there was even one point before the amazing season he had last year where we thought he wasn't even a coach last year. I mean, his record against top 10 teams, 3-14. Now, I could be wrong because you do see guys graduate from the college level to the NFL and stuff like that. But D-Mac, I mean, is a college coach as good as an NFL coach? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you say an NFL coach is better, aren't they the cream of the crop?
Different systems. Mm-hmm. Different dealing with men. Are you better dealing with men or dealing with, young men?
Yeah.
Right? Are you better at molding and advising and sort of teaching them to get to the next level? Or do you need somebody that sculpts them to the next level and then you bring them in and finish them off, right? I just think that, it's a great point in the YouTube chats about, the job that he did at Stanford and then went to San Francisco. Mm-hmm. And what I saw, because I agree, is the job he did at Stanford, he coached it like a college coach, committed and he had Andrew Luck and different things like that, right? And then he went to San Fran and he had success at San Fran and whatever like this. And I think he tried to do too much San Fran stuff. And a lot of times it has to do with the talent and everything you have, right? So a lot of it's a different coach, Easy. Yeah, it's a different coach. It'd be like me saying in golf, right? Not the best golfer, right? But there's certain conditions. Some of the best golfers can't play with heavy wind conditions, or they don't like it when it gets colder, right? If everything's apropos, or then you get into the grass, right? Not all the grass is the same, right? Not all the stuff. So there's more to it. And I think coaching to the nth degree is like that. And I think it a lot of it has, see, the biggest thing, if I'm going to take this back to Detroit, right, is you have to develop that culture first. Right, that's what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, the culture to come into, right? So too many times, and that's what was lost in Michigan for so long, right? Jim Harbaugh came in with the who's better in that culture, and came in with that cocky, it just NFL or professional athlete attitude instead of more of a college relate. And how can you not, as your kids, if your coach acts that way, you're going to replicate how you coach.
I just don't like the hype with it behind it. For me is like, as a Lions fan, I'm not concerned at all with Jim Harbaugh being the head coach of the Vikings. Like, and like you said, it's what you got to work with that kind of helps you and contributes to your success. We look back at his years in San Fran, tremendous record. I think it's like 44-12 in the regular season, but the offense Colin Kaepernick, say what you want about the stuff that happened afterward, after all the kneeling stuff like that. He was a damn good quarterback and one of the highest paid at some point. He was tremendous talented. You had Frank Gore, Anquan Bolden, Michael Crabtree, Vernon Davis, Joe Staley's going to go down as a Hall of Fame tackle, Mike Awapati. It's a hard one to say. It's one of those Polynesian names, tough one to go. But let's hop over to the defensive side of the ball. We have Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis, freaking Alden Smith, who was a beast back then.
So to my point, he had men to coach.
Exactly.
Right? And here's the one thing that I saw you learn as the culture changed a little bit more this year coming out of Michigan with Harbaugh, as far as it was quieter. You didn't hear the rumblings and stuff that But what else did he? He realized he had to lean on other people. Mike McDonald
was huge this year. Yeah.
Didn't he just get hired?
Yep.
Just got an NFL job, whatever. So my thing isn't the Jim Harbaugh. I know what I'm getting with Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Right? But who does he bring in? What's his coaching staff? Who is it? Does he have influence?
And it took us some time to do that in Michigan as well. Look at Michigan too. Like, they're a blue chip program. They're one of the schools like you want to go to if you're a head coach, because you know that there's going to be money. There's going to be amazing support. There's kids going to want to go there because they're a national brand type of team. Like, and then you look at the head coaching hirings. And I'm just talking as a Lions fan perspective. I'm not nervous about him. Everything's going young. He's the oldest. If he becomes a Vikings head coach, he'll be the oldest hire they made this year throughout the NFL. Even look at the Super Bowl this year. Zach Taylor, Sean McVay. I think Zach Taylor's 38, Sean McVay 36. Like, the league is just changing.
Here's the thing. It's like you want to relate to the Mo Sider and the Lucas Raymond at 19, 20, 21 years old. The young, everybody's evolved. The Sean McVays, the Zach Taylor, they put their time in. They've been around the game No, what I'm saying, don't use age. People use the number of age because he's this old or because he's this old. What I'm saying is that what I've seen, and I believe, is Jim Harbaugh's a better coach of men when he's put the right team around him. So, but he's also realized as he's gotten older, and trust me, Easy, as you get older, you get a little bit wiser and realize you don't have to do it yourself, but you can't do it yourself. So it's who do you surround it? It's the team you put together. Now, to mention how it ties back to San Fran of why it might work, right? It's because the GM was in the San Francisco organization when Harbaugh was there. So there's some why continuity. We don't know what that relationship is, but that's the sort of, if they hire, or the hire is Harbaugh in Minnesota, that's the Harbaugh that the GM wants back. You said. So it's always interesting, no matter what. Sawyer, have we seen if the lines have changed at all with, you know what I'd be interested to see tomorrow is Super Bowl odds, and if what they are with the new teams with new coaches, to see if they go down or anything like that, because you mentioned that, right? But I think it's the experience. I think it's what you've learned, and I think that he's ready. Just like this year in college, he kept it quiet. And he was successul. Well,
some of the stuff is still the same, though. Like, the offense is like, that's still that north-south aggressive offense. Everything the NFL is trending is like these young coaches who are like improvising their offenses to do like just innovative things. Like, it's just more explosive nowadays. And like,
right. So here's the whole thing. Jim Harbaugh's the coach, but who's his guru, offensive, defensive coordinator that's bringing this stuff?
Yeah.
Look at how it operates around here. Right? Every team, no matter what, if you're talking about sports or whatever else, there's a flow, there's a vibe. Everybody has to play their role for them to be successful. It doesn't matter. It'll be interesting, though, but I wonder what the Minnesota Vikings will be tomorrow. But if I was going to bet it, Sawyer, where would I bet the Super Bowl odds?
I mean, I know a place you could go to.
You do?
Head on over to mybookie.ag. I mean, easy to find, simple to use, great interface. I'm not a betting man, but a lot of people that I hang out with are, and they all speak very highly of MyBookie. So it's the place to be. And if you want to get into it today, guys, we got a nice promo code for you. All you got to do is use promo code Woodward, and they'll double up your first deposit up to $1,000. So, I mean, you put in $1,000, you're playing with $1,000. You got some house money to have some fun. You can throw it on the Super Bowl that's coming up. You can throw it on some NBA games, some NHL games. Sadly, no MLB. We don't even know if they'll ever play again, just because the MLB doesn't care, it seems. But that's a topic
What
for a
about
different day.
NASCAR, Sawyer? Big NASCAR
Fish.
race
Oh,
this
it's
weekend.
fish.
If you just let me
Quit
get to
jumping
it.
the gun,
Yeah, if
baby.
you just
We
let me
got
get to it,
big
guy.
surprises.
Come on.
Gosh darn, fish out of the tank.
Just
Fish
spoiler
out of
alert.
the tank. Can I get a fish out of the tank alert?
We need
Put the
flannel,
fish
man.
back in the tank.
We need San Francisco
I-
here today.
listen,
Kids just going wild on us.
I'm calling Jason, Guardian Alarm right
All right.
now. Lock up the
So,
tank.
As
Go
Fish
ahead,
was saying,
sir.
though, NASCAR, those odds are on there. Daytona 500's right around the corner, guys. You can put some nice money down, make some good money. And one thing, I didn't know this about NASCAR, since I'm not a betting man, all the odds are plus.
Yeah.
There's no, like, underdog. Or
Never,
like, everybody's
never
an
mind.
underdog. It's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can teach you
You're
about
always
it.
making money. So I was on there yesterday. Truex is plus 600. There's a few plus 800s in there. So, I mean, you got some real nice shots to win. And like I said, promo code Woodward, double that first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And as always, guys, if you have a gambling problem, please be sure to call the Michigan Gambling Hotline at 1-800-270-7117. This is Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Welcome back here, Big D Energy, D Mac, easy. Sawyer on the ones and twos. Fish just jumped out of the tank, had to throw him back in, jumping ahead. Yes, as you heard it, Sawyer's Motorsport quarter mile will be in the last segment, the 12:50. You want to stick around for that because I'm excited because 4 left turns are coming back, baby. 4 left turns. But before we get to there, and obviously because I'm driving, so we're going to jump all over the board. Sawyer, we talked about Tom Brady yesterday. Easy, I didn't get Sam Fisher, by the way, had the best text message. I think it was him. It was you that said Maz is the happiest guy because Tom Brady retired today, right? So very astute by Sam. But as we all know, Sawyer's team, his default team, is the Indianapolis Colts, and I think they might have won the Twitter war with Tom Brady's retirement. Did you see? I'm going to post this right here. Sawyer came across this the send off to Brady by the Colts.
Well, what can I say? It's been great knowing you, SpongeBob. Good luck somewhere else. I'm gonna miss you. Boo-hoo, 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 boo.
Buddy out there who is not a SpongeBob SquarePants fan, you know, the NFL, Roger Goodell is giving Tom Brady the hoo-ha, and Sawyer pretty much says, GTF out of here. Right? Pretty much, Sawyer? That's pretty much how the Colts feel. Thanks for tormenting our life for the past so many years.
I mean, for a little bit.
Would he
but,
be...
I mean, after he left, I learned to respect his play and enjoy watching him. But when he was putting Manning out of the playoffs, it was like Neil with Larry Bird. Like, I could not watch Tom Brady
he's
when
that
he was
guy.
playing Manning. Yeah,
he's that guy.
I could not watch them.
Who's
but
that?
now I like
Do you
him.
have that guy that just, like...
It was Tom Brady.
Oh,
for
what?
me, yeah, it was because like he never did anything sexy until later on in his career, right? It was always like just the right play. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes him great. He sees the entire field. He's not always looking for the home run like guys like Patrick Mahomes. It's not always the sexiest. It's just the smart play, the right play, the guys that are open. And later on in his career, he's just dissecting defenses like nothing. It's crazy. He retired because he still was playing at a high level. Like this year, leading the league in touchdowns and yards, and like it's just he could still play. That's the craziest part about this.
There's a word for people like us, not goats. It's cerebral. Right, he's a cerebral.
Yeah.
We call it hockey IQ. That's the one thing is looking back, and it will continue on this Red Wing team. Is what Scotty Bowman always had is you had to have hockey IQ to play for him. Steve Yzerman's the same way. Everybody's got hockey IQ. They just, you might not see it, but they see it on the way. My greatest example is watch Tyler Bertuzzi. He's got the look. He looks like he's not always squared up. I call it the Proby stare at you, but one of the best hockey players in the world. You know,
Can we get an example of the pro beast there?
He's just talented like that. Sawyer, speaking of hockey, though, you found me a little caveat, which wasn't a hockey fight, but it was a lacrosse fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it looks eerily like a hockey fight, just with no skates.
Right.
Wow.
Well, that's what it is. So this is box lacrosse. If you're familiar in Canada, in the United States, they play field lacrosse, right? Where you have the long stick and you're out in the field like a soccer field. Well, this is box lacrosse. This is what... So I didn't grow up playing it, but when I played Junior B, all my buddies in Peterborough that played Junior B played box lacrosse, and it was glorified. So it's in the arena. It's like arena football or hockey. The vials, the cross checks and stuff like this, and sometimes the boys will just stand back and throw, and yeah, not as it's a little bit harder because you don't get the ice underneath your feet, so you don't, it's a lot easier to move and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just like on the street.
It's cerebral.
But what did you notice? And anybody who's listening, nobody kicked anybody, right? You know what I'm saying? There's no kicking.
There's no Urban Meyer stuff going on.
There's no, right. This guy's not going into an MMA chokehold, even though they might evolve to it or stuff like that. Which leads me into, obviously, Tom Brady, 22 years, right? Now, easy. How old are you?
28.
You're 28. Sawyer, you're
23.
You're 23, and Fish, you're 21, right? Okay, so I'm the old dude, almost by double, which is cool. But so Tom Brady's played your whole life,
Yes.
right? Even more than that, which got me thinking about different perspectives of different events or athletes throughout the year. Now, I got this wondering because we got, like we said, we're planning on doing a big thing for March 26th that I want to do. I know where I was, but what do people remember about it? And maybe I'll start there with different moments, because for you younger generation, if you weren't around, how are you introduced to that? Is it through family? Do you remember growing up? Like for me and our family, like as far as I love the Red Wings. My uncle worked for Air Canada, and the Wings used to fly out of Windsor when they flew in Canada, so he was a baggage guy, so I used to get sticks when I was young, the Red Wings ones and stuff, so I was a Red Wing fan even though they stunk. They could beat the crap out of everybody else. But I wonder with all you guys, right? And I'm sure... and I'm sure with Fish, it's just the more that he's around, he's just a lover of sports and history. But how about you, Easy? Like, when do certain, and let's take March 26, 97, for example. When do you first remember that or meaning or the build-up or oh, wow, I remember hearing about it, and then, now I know what it really means.
I remember hearing about it. Because I was a little bit younger than I want to say I was 97, right? So I was probably like 4 or 5. But like reliving it, I guess through you was when I like really captured the moment, because I didn't know the build up to it, and getting over the hump for the Red Wings and stuff like that. Like it made it even more iconic. I mean, sports, that's like the stuff that like you look for, right? Is like those moments in life, because like you always do remember where you were. Like the Pistons one, for instance, wasn't as sweet as the March 26th one, obviously, but
no, but it was. So go to that one then.
Yeah.
So you remember that the 04 Pistons you talking about?
Yeah, the brawl with Ron Artest is what I was saying. Yeah, but even the 04 Pistons, yeah, like that's the first championship where my mind was developed enough to like watch the journey for the team, right? Like when the Wings are winning, like I remember it, and my family and my grandma's partying. I remember when you guys are losing, she'd turn off the TV and throw the remote and stuff like that too. Like my grandma was a nut. My grandma and my Aunt Heather, rest in peace. But the one I remember that struck home for me was the 04 Pistons. It was when I was first, I guess, roaming around the neighborhood just watching the game with all the older guys and stuff like that. And then when they won, everyone's outside. They're like shooting their guns and like going crazy. And like it was Shaq and Kobe Bryant. Like it was the LA Lakers. Like they were plastered everywhere. Every time you turn on TV, that's what they're talking about. Shaq and Kobe, the LA Lakers. I mean, they're a big market team. And for us as Detroit Pistons to take them down with like grit and hard work, like that's just everything about Detroit that you love to see. And that's how I feel about all of our championship teams. Just like casting the net over it is like they're always, I mean, you had the grind line. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the Believe You Boys, the 80s, Bless You Boys, 84. Yeah, the Tigers, yeah.
Bless you boys, this is the year.
Yeah, it was always gritty work though, is the way Detroit's got it done, and I think the 04 Pistons was the first like example of that for me, I guess, in remembrance of. But You just look for it, and today, relating it back to today's teams, like last year's Pistons, we were like, these guys are scrappy. This year's Red Wings, like, these guys are scrappy. They weren't supposed to be like this good at this point. They're rebuild. You know, I don't think anyone expected this. Mo Sawyer and Lucas Raymond, like both guys, or three guys actually up for the Calder Cup there with then Ned, but I don't think Ned's gonna get it. But stuff like that, man, it's what attracts you to sports. It makes it real.
What about you, Sawyer? And I guess it's fair what's your first, love, or your first, maybe it's more, what is your first memory, that developed it? Because that's the big thing, right? Mm-hmm. Where I say the why. But when you realize the story behind it and what led up to it, it's like watching Lord of the Rings and watching Return of the King, but not watching the first couple. But
the difference with sports, like, this is real life. These are like real life Cinderella stories. Even that's why I love watching the draft nights.
Dude, there you said it. The best sports writes Cinderella stories. It writes comeback stories. It writes all this different things. It can do something. Look at the NFL, what we just witnessed in the last 2 weekends. It writes movie scripts that we can't write, and puts different positions, right? Mm-hmm. You look at, mentioned it yesterday, you look at the two, you mentioned it there. Not only do you have 2 first overall picks playing in the Super Bowl, you mentioned the ages of the head coaches, how young they are. There's an evolution. We mentioned yesterday that if they played the playoffs over again, what are the odds? Probably 10%? That this Super Bowl will be happening with the same 2 teams. Yeah. That's the parity. That's the everything that's going on like that. Anyway, Sawyer, what about you? What do you remember? And whether it's Pistons or March 26th, I'm more interested in how, like, family, or who in your family, because that's how you sort of get into it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, with March 26th, it was definitely my dad, and because my mom and dad both used to have season tickets to the Wings back in the day, so like once I showed a little more interest in hockey, they're like, well, you got to check this out, and then they showed me it, and I was like, whoa, this is wild, and then they told me the whole story and everything, but kind of like what Easy said, like, I didn't get the full perspective until hearing you talk about it and hearing like what it meant to the team and inside the locker room. But then going to what your point of, like, first real Detroit sports memory, the one that really, like, stands in my head and what made probably the Tigers my, like, main Detroit sports team was that Mags Ordonez walk-off home run in 06. I mean,
we all felt that. That's the feeling. That's the shot. That's
I don't know if that was the one.
So I think if I go into and yes, Tammy, we are a little bit, we're experienced. We're not old. But if you go back to the ones that were around March 26, 97, it was like that feeling felt through Red Wing Nation, just like through Tiger Nation, the home run, where we all felt it, no matter what age you were and stuff. And I know it happens in other places, and I know that other teams go through this too, but Easy, you nailed it to what it is. It's the grittiness. It's the fact of not doing it the easy way. Nothing's been given. Nothing's been handed out in life, in sports, in whatever else. As I turn around, observing Snowmageddon 22. Going to get an update during the break on with Sam Fisher, a junior meteorologist, on what more to expect. But until then, you know what? You got to focus. And you got to focus on your fitness, because you know why? Because your fitness is essential, and it's essential at Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Don't go there today. Neil Rule will not be there. He's on a beach with 2 limes in his gypsy vodka somewhere. No, he's doing the Oakland game. Catch him on ESPN later. But you can go to Planet Fitness memberships, just $10 a month, or the Black Card, which I think it includes massages and special treatment and something discount at the snack bar. Who knows? For $22.99 a month, the Black Card members enjoy the amenities. Yes, I was right. Hydro massage chairs, total body enhancement, along with access to over 2,000. Yes. The beauty of Planet Fitness is you can access 2,000 locations worldwide and on unlimited guest privileges. So if you have a friend like Easy that's always bumming to get in free, you can take them. Join today and club or online at www.planetfitness.com. No matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness close by. Now open in Midtown Detroit at the Detroit Pistons Performance Center. Right now, $0 down, $10 a month. Planet Fitness is hiring all positions. For more information, Visit planetfitness.com. Why? Because your fitness is essential. For Easy, for DMAC, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Be right back.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, we're back here. Big D Energy, DMAC, Easy, Fish. He's back in. He's safe. He's breathing underwater there. He's not. He's angry though. He's waiting. He's getting his picks ready for NASCAR. And Sawyer obviously here. Stick around to the last segment for the motorsport quarter mile. Until then, I want to dig a little bit more into perspective of where these teams are at. And I guess it sort of might be sort of, I don't know if it's an age. I'm investigating to see if it's a generational thing or an age thing because of what we've seen. As I mentioned before, some of us older people have the scars to remind us the past is real.
Yeah.
I tear my heart open just to feel Papa Roach. Anyway, so, right? So throw a poll up here real quick. Which team gets to the promised land first? And promised land isn't a championship.
Okay.
Promised land, let's say, and I know it's not winning. It's not winning, Joy. I know it's not winning. But that's not winning, Joy. Who gets competitive to the conference finals or makes a shot or gets us excited down to at least, like the Final Four in each sports? And I ask you this easy first, and I'll go to Sawyer, and then I'll even go to Fish. Because I don't know if it's perception of what you've dealt with so you're not as scarred, right?
Yeah.
But what we mentioned last segment, and you nailed it, is the fact that the pieces are coming into place.
Yeah.
So if you were going to put these teams in the order, which order would it be?
Red Wings first. Absolutely. I mean, they're on the cusp of making the playoffs right now, so has to be them. You also have a guy in Stevie Y who just got done doing the same thing in Tampa. You got to give him the respect from that, and he's showing promise here as well with guys like Sawyer already making an impact, Lucas Raymond already making an impact, and I was kind of asking this earlier about who they're going to pair with Sawyer because people been kind of down on Danny D, and you got Edvinson coming up.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? You're in this patience. Even though you're out of the harbor into the ocean, there's still some rough seas. It takes a while to get across to land, right? So his partner will be here next year, and the object is that partner in Edvinson and Sawyer are lockstep with each other for the next 10 to 15 years, right?
Crazy.
So a lot of these guys, this is what I do anyways, right? Especially with the Wings, is that who is going to be who, right? Can this player, and no matter who you name, can they replace what one of the championship guys did?
Yeah.
Now my question, Sawyer, and so you go Red Wings, Sawyer. I'd like to hear your before I rebuke.
Tigers for me. I think they're putting some pieces together. I mean, obviously they're in the lockout right now, but I mean, with the addition of that, who they got Baez over there because they didn't get Correa. They went with Baez.
They went with Baez.
Yeah, for the shortstop. And I mean, our young talent's looking good. Casey Mize, dude's got a great arm, and then I think he can just turn into a next full-on Verlander, but a Verlander type for us for sure. Just being our number one ace, going in there, get us some nice wins throughout the year, and put us in a nice position. So
talking a little bit of Tigers. What they're positioning themselves in is at least if these guys aren't the answers here, there's some value to get the pieces that you need. Right now, I think the biggest thing you're up against, Sawyer, is are they going to play?
Yeah,
does the lack of playing, does the way that whatever comes out, because whenever you're contract negotiating anything, you never know how things are going to change. There's going to be both sides, but that's interesting. Now, if I was going to ask you, how many years before, and I guess I'm asking to a second round playoff team, not just to make the playoffs to be happy, but actually to win a series, to actually, make it like, okay, we got a chance.
I could see us going to a championship series in maybe 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
If we play our cards right,
Yeah.
Do some good free agent signings.
Where are
keep the
you
cap
at
down.
with the Wings, Easy, as far as like to win a playoff series?
So I'm fairly new to hockey. So I'm gonna say 2 years, but that's off of like zero knowledge though, of how long it does take to like flip around to that type of caliber.
You always want things just right away.
My great generation.
That just goes with just give it
What
to
about
me
you?
now. give it to
What
me
team
now.
do you think though?
See, here's how it plays out. And here's the thing. I believe the Wings are not a playoff team this year. They're a playoff team next year, which could, a team that nobody wants to play. The next year from that is 3 years, is a team that I expect to win a series.
Yeah.
4 years conference finals, 5 years. I believe it's the 5 year to win a cup. To the point that I look at, right, and I bring this up, and it's DMAC going a long way. That I think it was ESPN or the writers came out with the rankings of the rookie classes, right? Detroit Lions are ranked 6th, right? For a team picking 2nd overall and you get a 6th ranking in your draft class,
Yeah.
that tells me,
This guy knows what he's doing.
right? That tells me that you better pay attention and you better have, when you say, do you trust any of these guys in charge? And whether it's that Spencer's saying the Tigers means he has some trust in Avila and Hinch to be able to get the job done. You saying that is the Eyes plan, which is actually the McKaiser plan. But again, we got to get to this point, and then I can reveal the whole thing to you, Kaiser Soze. But at the end of the day, now, the way football's set up, and we see this if you get the right draft picks. Now Cincinnati took advantage of their perfect storm or whatever, because we've been positioned as Lions fans to make the pick, and we made the wrong ones. They made the right ones, but it can be done. The turnover can be quicker. The Lions, if they get the next few drafts right, could be there in 3 years, right? Where are we at with the Pistons?
Sheesh.
You tell me where
in terms of playoffs or in terms of like just second round.
Well, it's the
victory in
NBA playoffs. Now, and everybody commented like I'll cheer the Pistons or whatever like this, but I don't understand. I mean, it doesn't. You have a losing record and you make the playoffs, so that doesn't mean anything to me in the Eastern Conference and stuff
especially
like
in
that.
NBA.
So it's not. It's when can you win a playoff series? When can you pieces together? When can you? This draft. What's the next step? Because obviously the pillar's there.
Yeah.
Right? And you look around to the organizations. Do you have the pillars there, or do you have the start of the pillars there?
I think we have the start of the pillars there. I think Cade Cunningham would be that start of the pillar. I think next year's draft really determines if we are building other pillars alongside him. I'm really, really hoping we get the number 1 overall pick and we're able to take Jabari Smith. I mean, you can't guarantee that because it is a lottery ultimately, but
we got pretty lucky last year.
Did get pretty lucky last year. I like the guys that are in the top 3 either way, but I just think that Jabari Smith, especially after watching the game last night, we really need somebody in the paint because they're feeding the ball to a guy, Jonas Valanciunas, who's kind of notorious for killing the Pistons, but this is a 7-footer and we got nothing for him. I mean, God bless Beef Stew for stepping up to the challenge, but he's just not there. He's down here on this guy and he's just throwing hooks over him. So I'm hoping that we definitely need another good draft class from Troy Weaver. I think we have a tremendous trade asset in Jeremy Grant. Now, I know everyone's ready to trade Jeremy Grant now, but we've seen the speculated rumors for what we're going to get back for him. I don't like any of them. And honestly, I'd rather keep Jeremy Grant heading into this draft and maybe piece him to say we don't get the number 1 pick. Maybe piece Jeremy Grant with one of your next year's first rounders or even this one to get the number 1 pick to get yourself another pillar. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. It's just how many guys. Again, it goes back to right when you're building championships. You got to build in levels. They got to get to the playoffs first.
Yeah.
How many of these guys do you expect to be here? Is there anybody other than Cade? Right, because everybody else is pretty much replaceable. Because so it's figuring out the draft is very important.
Yes.
But I think what's important is the caveat, not as much as where you pick, but who you pick.
1,000%.
And who complements, Cade. Like that's the mentality of the Pistons that I want to see is the direction. And that's what I would ask. Do you see a direction?
Yeah.
Are they showing you a direction? And my answer is no. because they haven't moved Jeremy Grant or said anything or whatever, sit on him.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really hear what the Pistons' game plan is. More or less, the other teams just sort of have an idea of where they're going. You know, so huge draft, but Brad Holmes has to just continue to be consistent.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting what Troy Weaver does, but we have to give him the benefit of the doubt because he came in, he was a parent, he cleaned house.
Yes.
Now, if he has to do it again, to me, I think
he wasn't scared.
To me,
either.
what I think with Troy Weaver's is he's like my wife. With painting in the kitchen, right? You paint it, right? And that's not it. Oh, maybe you'll leave that side, but you want something else, a different color. So you'll paint it again. Oh, we kept Cade. And you keep painting it. Oh, maybe we'll keep another guy here and here.
Yeah.
He ain't afraid to keep churning it over until he has the right guy. And I guess as long as you don't let the right guy go, you know, that's sort of the easy thing.
Who's your number 2 team? Because you got the Red Wings as your 1 team.
You know, honestly, and I would say sort of the Tigers, but I think the Lions are closer.
Dude, yeah.
See, the Lions to me, and I always use. And here's the thing: when I use my clock of 17, it's not just the players and the wins and losses. This is the management, coaching staff, and whatever this. So easy. But thank you. You're the best, Sawyer. But right when that hits 34, then I'm gonna have to come out with a statement on where I think these guys are at. But after the 17, after the halfway poll, the way that they've done it and if they can do it, and you have to get lucky, right?
Yeah.
You have to. Cincinnati has to get the pick where they picked them, right, to get Jamar Chase. That sort of thing. We had to be, as Pistons fans, get the number 1 overall pick to get Cade Cunningham. So if it falls into place, I trust. So it could be sooner because the NFL can change like that.
And I want to say Lions because of that, right? Because it's probably the easiest one to go from worst to first. But I'm just so damaged and scarred from their history, man. It's tough.
Well, it don't matter. Even though I show you the 17, right, and stuff like that, you can still get your football on. You can get your football on. You get your beer on. You get your horn on. You can get everything on. I mean, you know how I know? Because my guy Sawyer knows where it's at.
Oh, yeah, and it's right at the Folding Warehouse.
Turntables and a microphone.
Oh, yeah, it's the best place to be. It's right in Hamtramck. I mean, it's easy to find. Huge warehouse. Folding's right on the side. So if you're missing it, you might need to go get your eyes checked or something. But, I mean, it's such a party to be at. You guys got to check it out. Super Bowl's coming up. We got the Clash this weekend, Daytona 500, Pistons games, Red Wings games, or just show up and play. I mean, you don't have to have a sporting event going on to go because it's that much fun. The sporting event to watch is just a little side piece that comes along with the Folding Warehouse. It's such a party. You can show up, pay $10, unlimited play till your arm falls off, play till you get tired, play till you can't really do anything else except for just watch TV. Or if you want to, take your company there, take your group there, take some friends there, take the family there. We had our Christmas party there. You pay $120, show up. It's a private reservation, so you got your own lane. And you just play for a few hours, have some fun, drink some beers, 2 full bars maybe. I don't know. There's a machine there that gives you a mystery beer when you put $2 in. I mean, it's great. Every time's a hitter. We've had people send us pictures in of the tried and true tested policy of the mystery beer machine. So it's like, what is it now? I think it's 5 for 5 or 6 for 6 on hitters. So, I mean, it's tried, true, tested. We might
got
lose
a repeat
count.
yet?
I've never gotten a repeat.
Wow.
I've hit it, 3 or 4 times, still haven't gotten a
4
repeat.
without a repeat.
And people sending pictures and haven't seen a repeat yet either. So it stays mixed up every time. It's great. But if you don't want to do the mystery beer machine, spend $2. They have over 100 beers. So there's plenty of stuff to choose from. You will not be left disappointed. I mean, it's such a great place. The game is created at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You know the deal. That place is special to me. Love going to the 500. And now this year when I go to the 500, I'm definitely going to try and find some foaling in the infield of the Speedway. It was made there, so they have to have a foaling warehouse place there.
Oh, absolutely.
If not, Woodward might have to make that happen, a little partnership. I'm reaching out to you, Folding Warehouse. I might reach out to you on foldingwarehouse.com, or I might just show up in person at the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck, because this is Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Big D.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Big D energy here on this Wednesday. Hump Day live from the Planet Fitness Studios. Why? Because your fitness is essential, whether you be checking us out on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, or the Woodward Sports app on Apple or Google Play, or listening on the RAR 99.1 FM, 93.5 or 94.7 HD2, or download wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music. Just had a little visit from our good friend Ryan Armani, who you could join with Braylon Edwards and the Maz from 2 to 4 here daily on That's the Bottom Line.
The bottom line.
And that's exactly ha. So everybody's all happy. Ryan's happy. I think he likes the snow. Fish, we got an update? Still snow coming down? Still cold outside?
Yeah, there's still snow coming down. Not as much as I thought that was going to happen.
Not as much as the Fish anticipated. Now, hey, that's why he was stepping out of line, getting out of the bowl, to make sure that everybody's good.
But they still say 7 to 10 inches.
Is it sticking yet?
Look, yeah, there's some sticking.
I'm gonna go mild adhesive. There's a mild adhesion to it right now. Not quite like Velcro, but it's a mild adhesion.
I will say I did get angry at Twitter people this morning because
they're
all, because they were all like, oh my God, it's snowing. Look at this. Like angry that we were shut down for a snowstorm that didn't happen. Just wait till the afternoon. It will come. And when the snow hits, Hope you don't get into an
accident. Heck yeah! If you want to also follow along on Fish getting angry at people on Twitter, follow at Fish Kiwi.
There you go.
I didn't post anything about it, but I just scrolled through and I just want.
He'll mind scroll you.
Fish is silently judging all you guys.
I saw a couple comments about the defense stinks and Jared Goff's the bad quarterback and whatever and. Yeah, that's
it's
why
only 17
I
out of
said
34.
4 years for the Lions. It's all a building process. That's why at the end of the easy. That's also too when you want to understand the why. You also got to listen. But you know what? Listen, what's up? And I hope it goes down. Wings game tonight. The LA Kings are in town. Take on Detroit Red Wings. What's the line on that game on mybookie.com as we're thinking? Now here's the thing, right? What have I always said? It's the inconsistency train that we have to deal with. You go into Pittsburgh, you beat
Wings
Pittsburgh in overtime, you come home, you blow it against Toronto, and then you win a big game with Jordan Osterley, the hometown kid, getting his first goal in overtime the other night. How do you bounce back? You got to build. Sorry, what'd you say, Ease?
Plus 124. The Wings are underdog tonight.
Wings are underdog plus 124. Yeah, so these are the consistency. And, you know what? It's always one of those. If you go down to the game tonight and everything, please be safe and drive safely. And I know some of the people on our feed were talking about missing the game and stuff like this. But this is what the LA Kings coming into town.
Yeah,
you're battling consistency, so you can always you make up. They'll be looking to make up for. They made up for a little mistake. They played hard the other night. Kept. For the most part of the game, kept Anaheim under 10 shots.
Such a fun game to watch, too.
And it was, and the opportunities, and just the way to be able to get it done. So now you have to build on it, and that's they've been able to put some streaks together this year. But
you had the Calder Cup drama on that one too, which made it fun. It was Zegras going up against Raymond and Sider.
Yeah, and that's and they got Jamie Davidson too. That was the first game where the rookie forward, the top two rookie forward in defense, right, on both teams, right, we're playing in the same game. So it shows you the future's bright. But you mentioned Mo Sider, now former teammate and the Grim Reaper, Stu Grimson, who is he's got like letters behind his name. I think I have to say he's Esquire because I think he's a lawyer and stuff. But Big Stu, he was talking about Mo Sider on the NHL Network and He was quoted as saying he should win a Norris Trophy before his career is over. Go ahead, sir.
Say, like, right when he started his statement, too, I didn't grab it, I should have, but he was like, full disclosure, I have the biggest man crush on Mo Sider. And I was like, that's it. That's it. He's
honestly,
the guy.
Let me give you
He's the guy.
Let's go on Uncle D's story. So, Stu Grimson was one of such a great influence back when we went to the Cup. He played with us in the 95 season. But you would come in every day, and Stu was always the first one. Like, he'd be at the rink 3.5 hours before doing crosswords, drinking coffee, stuff like that. He always called me Durwood. To this day, he calls me Durwood.
Why?
Just because I'm dumb. Just Durwood,
okay,
whatever. So, but we used to talk, and you look, and this is why the enforcers, this is why they become great color analysts, because they watch a lot. They don't play a lot, but they're around, and they know the vibe of the room.
Yeah.
And just to watch or to talk about being able to, we had Nick Lidstrom back then, and I don't know, and Vladimir Konstantinov, and looking at the defense, Paul Coffey was sitting there, and just talking about what makes all these guys great. Right, so it's all that sort of the combination. But I remember we used to, like as far as Nick Lidstrom, in a different way than a Mo Sider, because Stu's got a man crush on Mo Sider because he's physical, right? We're us enforcers, you got to have that physical. We can appreciate and love and respect you, but there's something that just, tickles our fancy. It might be to you, I might relate that to an MMA fighter, because of his style or because of his determination, or maybe that he does something that you do. Maybe it's something that, I don't know it's got to be somebody who lays on the ground, right?
It's called pulling guard, D-Mac, all right?
Oh, pulling guard. Okay. I didn't know that. I thought that's when the guy ran right and the left guard ran around.
There's
right
that too.
guard.
I did that in high school.
But that's the correlation. So, and he doesn't talk lightly on that. And what you see out of Mo Sider is not only the intelligence, the speed, but the dynamic. He makes turns and spins and moves and stuff like that you're not supposed to make at that size. It's the new hybrid person. So when we're looking around and you're piecing together, right, it goes back to the former conversation. When you're piecing things together, you see in the Red Wings locker room, if there's 20 guys, right, what do you got? You might have 8, right? Maybe 10 that can get you there.
Yeah.
Right? Then it goes down to specifics, because you might just need one guy for one specific job. Back in the day, it would be like a Stu Grimson who would just make sure that kept everybody honest.
Yeah.
But nowadays, you got to be able to play.
Yeah.
So, you look at, like I always say, who am I most enamored with is Giovanni Smith. Why? Because he plays that fourth line role, can play in front of another power play, is responsible in his own end, and stick up for his guys, and like to do it.
Yeah.
Right? There's so many layers to this, and it's all putting it together. So I encourage, everybody, but the shine across the league. And I read, you mentioned the fact that it was the rookie, the Calder Cup, the call it whatever like this. But just because you can do, and Zegras is great and stuff like that, but don't get it twisted that the all-around game and every, in hockey, you don't get enamored, especially the people, the powers that be, don't really get that as enamored as they do with the all-around and what Mo Sider's doing.
Yeah.
When I hear that, Zegras is going to run away with the Calder, that's not the truth. It's a consistency. And the one thing is that what you see. You mentioned it last night. Who scored the overtime winner for Tampa Bay? Oh, a guy named Victor Hedman.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's who, to me, that's Mo Sider's top end. But if you compare them, that's what you have. And then we can do the same thing, and you go throughout. But that's a blue chip stock right there.
Yeah.
And we know that. And the more and more the consistency, the more they play, the more it goes on, the more that That's why the excitement of what's coming next. Now it's this opportunity. Didn't you mention, here, I'll bring it up right now. you put something about, Larkin's going to get paid.
Yeah, on Twitter. Yeah.
And what did I say?
He's got to earn it.
And I said, no, he's going to get paid because he earned it.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to earn it. The one thing Steve Eisman ain't giving handouts to nobody, right? There ain't no Uncle Kenny contracts. That's why it's a McKaiser plan, and I'm out of it till they start winning because I give away money all the time, and then I'd be the Uncle Kenny syndrome. Too loyal.
Yeah.
Right? That's the thing, because he's earning it, and all these guys have to earn it. It doesn't matter if you're the Rasmussen and the Velenos and all these guys. You're getting the opportunity just to be out there because you wouldn't be here if Stevie didn't see something bigger in you, or the fact that there's a means to an end. That's this thing of picking up Jamel Smith. It wasn't picking him up just so he could play with his brother. It's picking him up because he watched him play in junior. He knows that he plays and he likes him. I'm always interested in the guys that Stevie picks up, not any of the big name guys, but like the deal he makes for Nedeljkovic.
Yeah.
Right? And then everybody's always in training. Shut up. #Wiser plan. Anyways, do you read?
No, 1,000%. But the sports marketing agency got a podcast coming here soon to Woodward Sports. This is the F Word, a series on fentanyl. If you're struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Go to sportssma.com. Sean's a close friend of Braylon Edwards. He's done lots of talks and campaigns with them, and they're here to help. They have lots of reputable names in the sports industry, such as Braylon Edwards, Michael Early, Devin Gardner, and even Lomas Brown. Soon to come to Woodward Sports. Make sure you keep an eye out for that. F is for fentanyl.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
What's going on back here? Big D Energy. What up, Ray? Forgot I was driving the boat. Sitting here,
Pontoon.
me and Easy, Sawyer, Fish, Neil. He gone on a beach somewhere drinking. Maybe he went to visit Joint. There it is. We're on the pontoon, the world's fastest
Island
pontoon.
boys.
And we were just talking a little bit off camera. See, Tammy chimed in, talking. I've never been the biggest Larkin fan as a captain, but this year has shown that he deserves to wear the C. I think it's one of these things, and again, perfect example. Like, there's certain things you can bring up, and I can just say #Wiser plan.
Yeah.
Because Stevie knew it. And who else would you want if Dylan's gonna be the guy? Right? Who else would you want mentoring him? Who else would you want? And if Steve Eisman believes in Dylan Larkin and what you're seeing is just, I think, the tip of the iceberg, but it's not only that leadership. So now when I preach self-awareness and looking in the mirror, right, Dylan Larkin had to be comfortable and know that in his mind he deserved it. And he was the captain so that he could go out and lead. Sometimes guys don't think that they deserve it or think it's, something else. There's a power struggle there. In that Red Wing organization, there never was, right? There never is. There never was, because Steve Eisman's the captain, hands it down to Nick Lidstrom, hands it down to Zetterberg, who hands it down to Larkin.
Yeah.
There's synergy there of how things are done. Now, in saying this, and you asked me the question, you say online and Twitter, as people on the other way about Danny DeKeyser. I love Danny DeKeyser, Western Michigan guy, Detroit guy, and stuff like this. But right now, he's not one of the top 6 defensemen.
Yeah.
So they are a better team without him on the ice. I think something with him, it's he hasn't fully recovered, bounced back from his neck surgery.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens. Guys either lose a step or. A lot of the time, it's not a step. It's just that split second because the game moves so fast. You were mentioning how impressed you were. Zegras one-on-one with Mo Sider the other day where Zegras slipped it through his skates and behind, but Mo Sider recovered and batted the stick away.
From behind.
And you said, which is great, as a amateur hockey watcher or whatever, how cool that was. And I said the cooler thing was he did it without taking a penalty. right? With using everything involved. That's the thing. So not only that higher end talent, but it's one of these things that the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah.
Right? And you got to take your opportunity, because at the end of the day, there are there are more spots cemented in than others, but they're all breakable.
Yeah.
Right? The cement can be, taken away. Right? So even though it's just the Siders, the Raymonds and stuff like that, but they got to keep going. And that's the one thing that I like. Right? Into this far, getting into the All-Star break, into this part of the season, is that these guys haven't let down and there hasn't been a lull. And I go back to last year playing in Sweden and that development and stuff like that year together, or they weren't together, but that year over in Sweden during the lockout really helped the maturation.
Yeah.
So it's consistency, right? They played a great game the other night. They had to play a great game. They played great defensively, which they hadn't done, but can they consistently do it?
Yeah.
Right? So that, which leads into the question, because it's always, you're going to hear the rumblings where I could say, why is it playing on his Blashill the right guy for the job? Well, you start hearing the same things more so is I asked you, because the Pistons last night, the Pelicans 111-101. You mentioned they had a 7-footer inside. The beef stew just wasn't tall enough. I get it. Pistons are back at LCA tomorrow to take on the Timberwolves. Is Dwayne Casey the right guy, or is it because is it more of message, or is it more of execution, or whatever else?
Yeah, for me, I'm leaning towards the side. He's not the right guy, and I've gotten and I've been that way. I've said that multiple times, and I've gone back on it because I do try to keep like a open mind, and I do hear out the defenders of Dwayne Casey, and the fact is, like the NBA, you need talent ultimately to win. And that's just something the Detroit Pistons just don't have at this moment in time. However, last night with a team like the Pelicans, who are bottom of the league, I'd say the Pistons probably a little more talented roster than them. Even had a double-digit lead on them last night. To let that go was just inexcusable. There's no he's lacking talent there. And last night's matchup against the New Orleans Pelicans, I'd challenge anyone to call him right now without using Google and name off their starting five.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? With Zion out? No, Zion's out. And that's the thing. Like, yes, they have Brandon Ingram, and that'd be their high point guy, but we had Jeremy Grant out there. We had Sadiq Bey out there up until the injury, which kind of sucks with Cade. It's going to be a right hip pointer. I don't know what or how long time he's out for, but nonetheless, we were the more talented team last night. There's absolutely no excuse why we should have lost that game, especially having a double-digit lead in the second half. It just, Dwayne Casey at that point for me, like the thing that I sided with him is like, yeah, he doesn't have talent. I shouldn't expect much out of him this year. But last night wasn't the case, the scenario or excuse for him.
Well, what's the one thing we saw from the Lions and we took solace in, right? Is that they played hard every game.
Yeah.
Even when they were out, whatever that. What you're telling me, it's more of a lack of not listening to the message or wanting to play for the guy, and it's sometimes hearing the same voice, it sort of tunes it out. So to me, that's more of what it is. See, with the Red Wings and the effort and execution, they were used to be there. Now, I think more so than ever, Jeff Blashill is on maybe not on the hot seat, but getting to the hot seat because the team's getting better.
Yes.
Right? And so that's the saving grace, like you said, the answer. So and at this time, does it really matter in the big scheme of things the Pistons lose? No, right? But so in the big scheme of things for the Pistons, Troy Weaver better be on his game, right?
Yes.
So, and then at the end of the day, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Is if he's not the right guy for the job, Dwayne Casey, then Troy Weaver, do you trust to make a change? Or if he makes a change or not, it's a hashtag, Weaver plan or whatever you want to call it. So that it builds things out, but that's how your teams are getting better. A lot of times, unless they're losing and stuff like this, it's easy to say this guy stinks, right? It's easy to see they've quit on him. There's no message because losing, right? But it's when the message doesn't get there and it's the effort, right? That's why we're all excited about the Lions. Because of who's making the decisions, right, with the buy-in.
Yeah.
We know they're all bought in.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, I believe the Red Wings are all bought in.
Mm-hmm.
Do I believe the Pistons are all bought in? I don't
yeah.
know.
Someone
I
in the
don't
chat,
know. And how could you be all bought in when your name's out there in a trade or you're expected to be traded? You know, why? See, I never got that. Where's your motivation? Your motivation is personal, but
yeah. No, I could see that. And last night was, and shout out to everybody in the chat right now, too. Someone did mention, let me go back, see who it was. I believe it was, oh, my guy, Sean Murphy. He's our new Pistons writer for us on Woodward Sports. Shout out to Sean Murphy. But he said the Pistons did just beat Cleveland. Brandon Ingram is a stud for the Pelicans. Jeremy Grant's first game back. Sadiq shot 2 of 10. Casey can't make shots for these guys. Guys get open looks. But there's more than that, too, is you got the defensive side of the ball. And I think that's where more like the strategic end comes. Because, yeah, Casey can't knock down the shots for these guys. But he can game plan on the defensive side of the basketball. Almost said football there. Jeez. You know, to where these guys aren't going off. This guy, I think his name was Sean Murphy or something along those lines. He's going off on us last night. He's shooting threes left and right. I've never seen the guy in my life. He looks like a creative player from 2K. Like it was embarrassing, man. It's like to have the double-digit lead again in the second half, to let it go. The talent is an excuse for you right there. So I saw Cam. You said something about guys buying in. Cam commented. He said, "Did anyone see Casey yell at Cade when he wasn't running his sets, even though he was scoring?" Which sounds like Cade may not be buying into Casey. I didn't see that happen, but yeah, I guess how's that work with you, D-Mac? If a guy is getting his and he's scoring, it's benefiting the team, but he's not following the system or structure, like where does that fall? Is he a bad teammate? Or is he not executing to plan? Or is he like our guys that are talented enough to do it?
Hockey's a different game because you don't have set sort of plays or whatever like that, but as long as you're winning cures everything.
Yes.
So, and especially at professional level, you know, it wouldn't care. That sounds more, like you said, if that's the truth, that's more. It would be the sets would be sort of on the power play, right, where you're trying to feed Brett Hull for the one timer, or Shaney for the one timer. But it's more of option A, B, and C, like receivers, right? You don't know how the game is going so fast or whatever, but you know where guys are supposed to be. If they're not there, right? If we're using this breakout play, right, where puck comes up the wall, I get it, right? And you're, as Draper, supposed to be coming through to support me the whole time so I can either chip it out or put it on his stick. Well, if he decides to blow the zone or whatever like this, well, he could, leaving the zone too early, you could get in trouble because of not playing the system or not watching your man or stuff like that. But that happens so quickly. I think with the sets, like you said, calling down, because in basketball you see them doing the 2s and the 4s and the blacks, or
running off screens and stuff like that.
So, but again, easy. That's something to keep an eye on.
I'm definitely about to,
So you know these are some of the things you want to keep an eye on, because that's the whole thing with maturation, younger team. That's why Cade needs that second guy. Right, yes. Whoever it's going to be, he needs that partner in crime. He needs his Jordan. You know, he needs his Rip.
Yeah,
he needs his. That's the whole thing. That's how I look to it. I'd love to see, and he's more talented, but I want to see Chauncey and Rip again. You know, that's the back in the hay. You know, with those two peas in a pod. That's what it reminded me of. So, and it's right. That's what it is. The chemistry, and so it's just something to keep an eye on. I think a lot of times too, frustrations can come in, but you know, again, that's where hockey and basketball are a little different. But the mentality about, do you play for your coach? That never changes at any level.
Yeah.
Right? Do you listen to your coach? Do you respect your coach of what he says? You don't have to like what he wants you to do, but are you a soldier in the army? Right? And here's the thing. The best players are. Like the greatest players, the greatest champions are. Maybe not the greatest talented players. Then
Tom Brady.
All about that.
Tom Brady, all about the system, all about the team.
All about it. And adjust. And the way that he did. And Tom Brady made everybody on offense, defense, special teams better.
Yep.
Made a better person.
And when you have those rings, too, it makes it easier to set that example. Hey, listen, the coach, this is the game plan. This is the system.
Oh, yeah.
This is
when
what
you
we're
carry
run.
around, when you carry around cups, when you carry around, you've been there, done that. Oh, yeah. Then, but it's also, too, I can look back. I know what it took. I know the sacrifice. I know the sacrifice that Steve Yzerman, watching him try to get up on because he's got bone-on-bone knee in the Stanley Cup Finals against Carolina. Listen to him, getting shots before the game and stuff like that just to be able to play. Nobody understands that stuff, but that means something, in the whole scheme of things. Just like, what else? You know what it means like? It means something just like my haircut. Because, guys, we like things honest. I don't care if it's basketball, football, hockey. It's called sports. And here at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, you can watch sports while you get your hair cut. Yes, they have TVs inside the mirrors to make sure that you can track your bets, watch the game, and see how beautiful you really are inside and out. Walk in, sign in, sit down before you know you're handsome and clean. Get the Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week, walking anytime. It's wicked awesome. Easy's in for Neil, D-Max, Sawyer, Fish. Big D energy on this hump day. Be right back.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, Ashawn Robinson is going to head up in the Stafford Bowl. Woodward Sports, Citron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness for the Stafford/Robinson Bowl party. Where? Brass Rail, Detroit. When? Super Bowl Sunday, February 13th, 4:30 to 6:30 pregame, followed by the watch party. Why? To watch the Stafford Bowl with 100 of your favorite Lions fans or Ashawn Robinson fans or the other wide receiver, Brandon Powell, that had 11 catches. Whatever it is, it's a good time. The pizza's great. The atmosphere is great. We've done a whole bunch of stuff down there. That sticks second home. So the Woodward family will be down there cheering on whatever else. The over-under, boys, on the over-under on Stafford jerseys or half Ram, half Lion Stafford jersey. Will I see 3 of those?
Under.
I won't. God, I'm going to say over. Will I see
over
10 Stafford jerseys?
Oh, over. Yeah, over.
Will I over?
Yeah.
Will I see 25 Stafford jerseys?
Under.
Will I
over?
Okay, all right, 25's it. Let's get those guys going in. Who knows? The closest thing for us in Detroit to the Super Bowl, Matt Stafford, quarterback of the Rams, and Eminem doing a halftime show. So,
that was
and congratulations down the road to my boy Planet Williams and Lord Crew, the Bengals fan. Lord Crew chugged a whole Skyline chili. After they won and stuff. Been diehard Bengals fans ever since they've been little kids. They're wrestler buddies of mine. So
there you go.
I hope they find their way down. And yes, if we do it right, we could follow the Bengals' footsteps. Now it's not easy and it's not set up the way it was for them, but the formula's there. You know, the formula's there to do it, and they've proven that they've done it. So, for the second time in history, 2 number 1 picks are facing off in the Super Bowl. The first time was Peyton Manning and Cam Newton in Super Bowl 50. Quite an accomplishment.
9-on-9 crime.
A 9-on-9 crime.
Yeah.
So easy right now. I think the line's 3 or whatever like that. I don't really care about the line. I care about who raises the championship.
Yeah.
Who you got right now?
Oh, it's the Rams.
You do have the Rams?
Oh, yeah. One of the biggest weaknesses on the Cincinnati Bengals is that offensive line. We saw them win a playoff game despite taking 9 sacks from the Tennessee Titans. If they thought it was a bad day against the Tennessee Titans, wait until they're standing across from Von Miller and Aaron Donald. Like, that's just – and like those guys don't get enough credit. I understand, like, in terms of rankings, you didn't get a high enough ranking from that Rams defense, but in terms of showing up, being stars, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, they do it every time. I mean, they're there for you every time. They've sealed a lot of games.
Here's the point, right? And I looked this up or whatever, like, and say, if the Rams get to Joe Burrow 5 times.
Yeah.
One time that ball's got to be on the ground at least.
Oh, yeah.
The way that they attack, the way
Mm-hmm.
that they hit. We saw it at the last series of the game, and I don't think for any reason, but the accuracy. See, to me, it'll be interesting. I think the greatest line was told to me that you always have to remember. You remember? This is a TV show. It's going to be close. I believe it is. They all are. Look at the overtimes and for whatever else. And as a former athlete, you can't. They're not guys. I'm not saying they're throwing it or whatever.
Yeah.
But the parity and the tightness and every one of these games, it makes you wonder. So this one, and I know people aren't excited, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Right? Because Joe Burrow, to me, Tom Brady exited because his replacement came in. Right? Now it's going to be that bloodbath. Now the new Brady Manning is going to be, in my opinion, I believe it's Josh Allen and Burrow. Because I believe what we saw is the flame
That's a good
in
point.
Kansas City with the way their money is and whatever. So Patrick Mahomes might be one of the best quarterbacks in the conference, but it's going to take them a bit to regroup.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't, there's something about winners. When you win, and I'm talking about Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Right? This kid has the confidence. This kid believes more in himself, and it goes back to what he did in Ohio State. So you're not telling me what he accomplished as a teenage kid, walking away from a program, transferring to LSU, walking down there to that program, doing what he did in that year, coming out, right? Getting crushed, season-ending injury, having reconstructive surgery, and still coming back going, hey, we're going to drop this Sewell guy for it. No. I need Jamar.
Give me my boy.
Give me Jamar.
Yeah.
I can take another year of this.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care. Give me the ball. Give me the ball.
You know what he reminds me
There's
of?
many like what I'm saying. Winning mentality.
Yeah.
Right? It's different. And it goes back to maybe Matt Stafford got development because he won his first playoff game and he looks in the mirror. Joe Burrow's been looking in the mirror a long time knowing who he is.
Yeah. No, he really is. And you spoke on it, like his confidence, even going back to his college days, walking away from a program like OSU, to go take a chance at LSU. And then next thing you know, he's winning the national championship with his boy. You know, and I brought the same thing too. Like the right pick in everyone's mind would have been the Penei Sewell, but he's like the confidence again. This coach, like, no, give me my guy, give me Jamar, and like I'm telling you, we create magic, and he's doing it. To take 9 sacks in that Tennessee Titans game, to come back from that, or just keep persevering from that stuff like that. Like he's the man, and like dare I say it. And Maz might love this because he's old school, and this kind of goes back to his Jets. But like, I feel like he's our modern day Joe Namath. The way he's all swagging out too, like off the field too, like with the fur jackets. He's got the Detroit Cartiers on.
To your point,
he's
right?
the man.
He's loved. He's the ultimate baby face. Tell me tell me a reason not to like Joe Burrow.
I couldn't.
Give me a reason, Sawyer, not to like Joe Burrow.
He kind of looks like Macaulay Culkin. That might be like a...
He what?
Macaulay Culkin. He kind of looks like Macaulay Culkin. Maybe people would like
so
him.
now you want to go on somebody's looks, bro? You're going to really go to somebody's looks and why you wouldn't? No, but I mean, as a right? Because when it came to Tom Brady, as in, you mentioned Maz, right? Well, he cheated. Well, he did this. Well, he wasn't all him. Wasn't this. Joe Burrow... Tell me, please.
He's cool on the other side of the pillow.
Why can't I like him? And only because, like, what? He committed to OSU and played at LSU. He's just as cool as the second day. My favorite thing was you see in the locker room after the game, and he's known to be smoking a cigarette, and Jamar Chase cruises up with him. And then their dads are outside smoking cigars.
That's awesome.
Like, that's, because this is what tells me. You know what I noticed with this isn't just the one and done Bengals. These are the Bengals. These are the new. They're going to be around because they love each other. They play for each other. They got that who day, we day, Nate, whatever like that.
Uh-huh.
And I think, Cleveland's too close. Cincinnati's far enough away. We could be friends with Cincinnati. Cleveland's too close to wish them success.
That's true though, because it does feel that way. Like we'll root for Cincinnati, we'll just Cleveland. We're like, screw those guys.
Plus they're a Tiger.
Yes, there's that too.
No, right? They're a Bengal. We're
Yeah.
lion, dude. You know, kings of the jungle. You know, we like different.
There you go.
We like different things. We
That's
like
facts.
right. Like that's the thing. So I like that, but in the whole scheme of things, it just goes to show you. And I'm going to lean this back to the Neil rule.
Uh-huh.
Hey, do you know what their draft capital is? Hey, you know how much? $17 million for the two of them.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not the gold standard because you don't have it, but it's the fact that that props to Cincinnati, and I think it's going to be a better game. Sawyer, what are your early prognostications on the Super Bowl?
My mind's telling me Rams. Like I feel like that's just probably what it's going to be, but my heart wants the Bengals. I think Rams will blow them out if Stafford doesn't turn the ball over much, but I mean if he does, then it's going to come down to the wire, I think. If he throws if he throws 2 picks and maybe Akers fumbles the ball, he's had some troubles with fumbling, then we'll have a close game at the end, but if they can keep it together, bring Burrow down in the backfield, disrupt the flow between him and Chase, like not let the run game get going with Mixon, then it's a Rams win for sure, 100%.
That's my recipe for them too. Is that
what's
run game? If they can get Joe Mixon going, because Stafford's gonna give you one. You just gotta make sure you take it. Because go back to the NFC Championship. Stafford threw up one that was, I think his name was Taft or something like that. The DB for the 49ers. Yeah, dropped it. Same scenario too. In the red zone with the Buccaneers, there was another dropped interception too. Like he'll throw you one, but you have to be ready to take it. And if they could do that, or if that happens, I should say, and they're able to run the football, then I think you got a game. But other than that, if they got a pass a lot, they're down early. And they're getting those, that pass rush an opportunity to eat up at Joe Burrow. And it might be a scary game.
Listen, I got Mark Ellis here, seen Burrow play for 2 years now because I live down in Cincinnati now. I will take the Bengals in this one by at least 7. A lot of times, man, like this is not undue confidence. I think you nailed it, Easy. It's the turnover, which it is the game, but can the Rams and Stafford protect the ball because that's what Joe Burrow is known for. But can they keep him alive? Right? It's got to be all the defense. And what did I say that Stafford realized and what has propelled them through most of these games? It's the Von Miller, showing up to make the Aaron Donalds. You look at the last play, the interception, on Garoppolo in the last game, man possessed. These guys want it. And you hear out of Aaron Donald's mouth the fact that I need that ring. I got one thing left. I need that ring. And here's another thing, right? The adversity that they've faced along the way. Right, having to come back from 10, having to beat the Bucks, whatever like that. Yeah. Even though people will argue, well, who did he face? He didn't have to face the Rodgers. He didn't have to face Mahomes. He didn't have to. No, that doesn't matter. The adversity that they faced along the way, especially on your first trek, right? I see the confidence being built. So at the end of the day, it should be the Rams. Again, what are the Bengals going to do to offset Cooper Kupp, which seems to be that's number one, right?
No
so how are you going to limit
year.
them, right? How are you going to limit them? And it comes down to the turnover battle. So
that guy's insane.
So to me, it's an interesting, but it's a much watch. But I'm not like everybody else. I'm excited for this game, and
I'm
not
excited.
because Stafford's playing for anything else. I just think it's going to be a good game.
I thought you were excited for Ashawn.
That's why. I told him to invite Matt. I'm excited. I'm excited. And I don't know. Maybe this is a Twitter poll. Throw this one up. Are you more excited for Stafford to win or to see different teams? Right? Because it's the Rams and it's Cincy. It's not your Packers or your Buccaneers or your Kansas Cities like it usually is. Are you more excited because it's a different matchup? Or are you more excited because it's
tough because it's like the same thing, right? Because like Stafford is a different thing at the same time. Like
no. Stafford is because he's your quarterback. You loved him as a line. You invested 12 years into him. You love what he did. You love his Ford commercials. You love his wife. You love all that stuff. Yeah. Is it that, or are you more because hey, there's going to be a brand new Super Bowl champion?
I think for me a little bit because of the brand new Super Bowl champion, and obviously it is exciting to see Stafford there. We've seen him make plays here in Detroit. He's given 110%. But when you have a guy as young as Joe Burrow make it there, it always piques your interest because you always wonder what does he become now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing.
How good
and
can
what
this
is
kid
it
be?
set up now?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell him to do it the way I did it, the way we did it, where we lost the first one to win 4.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you told me that's what it had to be, that would have been fine. But he should go out and try to.
It was a halftime show too.
It.
People were commenting about. I'm pumped for the halftime show. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it's Dre, Eminem, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I'm putting half and the commercials. We haven't even talked. We're gonna do a whole breakdown of commercials. But you know what? Been a long day. Delicious. Citron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. Citron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings. Partners with the Detroit Pistons, exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, great taste, Citron is your top choice. No word of a lie, guys. It's reminds me of, it's like the, not watered down, but the low version, not like Red Bull, anything else. And if you look at the ingredients, it'll tell you why. It will give you the energy drink. I drink one every day. So you too can follow them on social at Citron World to see all the inspiring things that they're up to, from empowering women to supporting entrepreneurs. Find them anywhere from hockey games, concerts, and also charity events. Buy online at citronworld.com and promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. Citron is more than just a beverage. It's a lifestyle, and Citron doesn't just fit into your lifestyle. It enhances it by encouraging you to look good and feel great. Drink it, live it with Citron.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
No off season for us. We're talking sports 365. Detroit Sports Network. Woodward Sports.
Welcome back, Big D Energy here. Easy sitting in for Neil D. Mac.
Oh, yeah.
Fish and Sawyer, making sure everything's copacetic. We're talking about Super Bowl matchup. Put a poll up. Are you excited more for the Stafford win? See two different teams, or a different team win? The halftime show or commercials? And Sawyer, there's a prop bet. Is that a prop bet? Or would you create it?
No, I saw it a prop bet. Let me see who said it in chat. It was Detroit Dabber 313 said there's a prop bet on DraftKings if Snoop lights up a blunt during the halftime show.
That's
or not.
awesome.
That's a pretty good bet.
You want to cast that bet? Snoop walks out, microphone and blunt in hand, lit. That's what it is. Where's that bet? So if that covers that, let me just tell you, that's just intricacies of the plant, and that's my D-O-double-G. So my dizzle. And plus put enough money on it, I'll call him, tell him, make sure he does that. But
I don't know. NFL is like, they're no fun. They're no fun league. They might.
What are you talking about? Didn't a Tiggle Bitty pop out one time? Jackson, if you're nasty. Nasty boys. Anyways, shout out to Janet Jackson. It's some sort of...
And Justin Timberlake hooking us up. Shout
out. Anyways, Washington football team officially changed their name.
Finally. Ooh.
To the Commanders.
The Commanders.
What do you mean finally, Fish? Finally they changed it. It's happy they have a name even though they got the worst name in the league.
It's better than the football team. Are we in Europe?
It is better than the football team.
No, we're in America.
What one did you want, D-Mac? What name were you rooting for?
I like the Red Tails.
I like the Red Wolves.
Ooh,
that's where
I like the Red Wolves.
Yeah.
But I like red stuff.
Uh-huh.
All I got to say is the black uniform's whack with that little W on the front of the helmet.
Yeah, that's weird because it looks like the Pittsburgh Steelers too because they got the numbers like in almost the Steeler font as well.
And nobody wears that face mask from the
actually.
1970s anymore. Nobody wears the full cage.
Well, if you're gonna do that, you gotta be the Steelers. You can't just copy their font and everything.
Well,
like,
if
that's
you
not
zoom
cool.
into the black jersey, they do have the
there you go.
outline.
You're right. No, the black one is kind of whack, but
They have the maroon outline though on the numbers if you look closely, so they do have some red in it.
it's cooler than the football team. Ultimately, that was just awful. I don't know how they.
I just don't know how they come to
sense.
this agreement. Like I get the Commanders because it's Washington D.C. and stuff, but
Yeah.
does that? Hey,
The
what's your favorite
Commanders.
team? The Commanders.
It's there. I mean,
it is.
The Capitals are a thing. The Capitals
but
that's
Hashtag
sweet.
take command.
I don't know. What do you got?
Commanders.
I mean, is it
Take
the
command.
worst? Is it the? Is it the worst nickname in sports? I mean, is it the worst team name in sports?
Well, you got Cleveland coming up.
Win the division.
Well, you got the Guardians and you got the Commanders.
You got the Guardians coming up, but the Guardians are pretty bad too. I'd probably have to say the Guardians.
Steve Brown likes it, says it's unique.
But definitely unique.
I get it. I'm with it.
Put a battleship on it. That should be a big battleship, or all the stars, the generals, or something like that.
It'd be cool. I'm sure the mascot would be something like that.
I don't know.
It'll be a biracial lieutenant.
I'll give you
commander
the logo
dude.
is kind of weak.
Because you gotta watch where you.
Honolulu Blues Party. Watch his slogan. We're going commando. I love it. I love it. Also in the news now. You want to know how you fix a jinx, or you? This is the ultimate curse breaker, and this is what I say. And what are you talking about, D-Mac? Pitching, batting, all-around phenom. If he gets to play, Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei.
The Los Angeles Angels or Anaheim Angels, whatever they're called. Is the MLB The Show 22 cover athlete. How will the two-way superstar handle the cover curse? Is there a cover curse? We know the Madden curse. Is there one in baseball too?
Is there one in baseball, Sawyer?
I haven't heard about one in baseball.
Well, I know Josh Donaldson was on one, so that might work. But is it fair to say that even if this was the Madden curse or whatever, that this guy, Shohei Ohtani, this unicorn, this individual, if you're a fan, you shouldn't have to worry about him being on the cover because no curse?
No curse. Not with that guy. That guy, he has two ways to go with it. Like he like you said, he's multifaceted on both sides of the ball. He's an amazing pitcher. He can slam it too. So he's got two ways to benefit from it.
Do you guys buy into that? Do you buy into that curse thing? Or
nah, not really. Some of it, like the Madden curse, like there was some of it where like when we were voting for the covers and like Peyton Hillis made it on there. Like no one thought that guy was gonna like continue to do what he was doing. Like he wasn't even really that sweet when he got the cover. So it's like. Some of the curse stuff was like we were voting guys just because it was like pop culture stuff, not really because of how sweet or good they were. But I did like that era too because we talked about how Detroit, like the outlook on it. We did get Barry on there and we did get Calvin on there, and that shows me Detroit does have some love nationally for those guys to win. You know what I'm saying? The voting for the cover. But I don't believe in no cover curse. Ohtani's a beast.
Well, that's a good point as far as the the Lions as a whole and the team and look down. As a joke, but recognize the Hall of Fame talent that we had when we were in there. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, going off with that first graphic I showed of the cover, they're actually putting on an MVP Collector's Edition, and a famous digital art illustrator just put this out. Yeah.
That's
real.
I'm gonna have to get that just to collect. And anybody who's listening on 99.1 The Roar or whatever is gonna have to go to see the Show 22 MVP Edition. It's sort of anime. In that Japanese anime style of Shohei Ohtani. Can you imagine how big of a star he is back in Japan?
Huge. So big. And huge. This is the first MLB The Show game to be released on the Nintendo Switch as well. So last year was Xbox, this year's Nintendo Switch, so next year hopefully PC.
Hey, you know what would be interesting, and these are sort of some of the things I want to do with Grind Time and stuff, is I bet you if we interviewed somebody from Nintendo or whatever, is they seen this coming, him coming over, him whatever, taking advantage, and that's sort of staying ahead or planning ahead. But I gotta say, like right off the rip here, that could be one of my favorite video game covers of all time.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm gonna throw that statement out there.
That's not outlandish at all. That's my favorite right now. Looking at it right now, they've never done anything like that.
It's mine. Why you guys gonna copy me? Easy. It's my favorite. It could be your second favorite.
All right, it's my second favorite. But look at you got the sword coming out too. Like forget NFTs. If I can get that like physical version signed by Ohtani, I feel like that'd be worth big bucks.
I'd buy a poster of that.
Yeah,
not even the game for the cover. If they blew that up as a big poster, I would definitely buy that.
That's fire.
Hang that on my wall. Get rid of the MLB The Show 2022.
I guarantee you someone's going to get that tattooed on him, and it'd be a badass tattoo.
Yeah, that would be sick.
But imagine getting that thing signed, though. That's going to be worth a pretty penny.
I think that's more, you'll see that out there, collector's item, and that's what you said. You get that thing signed. That's that. I don't collect stuff, but I mean, that sort of intrigues me.
Yeah.
And also, too, to what you said, Sawyer, is that as a poster. I wouldn't be surprised they come out with those posters of that like they used to back in the day. But hey, what do you guys think? I mean, that is awesome. I like the baseball game too. Have you played the new show, or you played the latest? Did they upgrade those?
Yeah, that's like the only baseball game I played growing up, and it's hands down the best one.
I always do. I always create my players. I always a catcher for the Tigers.
Road to the show, so much fun.
It is. It is. It goes to that. So yeah, I mean, that's such a great thing. One thing that I do know though is if I do get that, and I do get the poster, and I do get it signed,
you need to protect it.
I'm going to need it protected.
How you going to do that, D-Mac?
We're not talking Jimmy's, bro. We're talking Guardian Alarm. They get it. They'll protect you. Good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm is state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 monitoring straight from your phone. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home control lights, temperatures, detect smoke, and even that deadly killer, carbon monoxide. So, if you want to be part of the Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network family, you too can be, but I need you to call 1-800
Stay out!
That's 1-800
Stay out!
We
Get
got
the
fish
hell out.
back in the bowl. We got to keep them in there. You escaped earlier as we're getting into the NASCAR quarter mile motorsport. Fish, that's 1-800
Stay out!
Stay out, brother.
Get the hell out! Snow, get away! Leave.
Snow, get
Bye.
away! Snow, get away! Oh, we're getting accumulation on the cars
we're getting
behind.
accumulation.
Guardian Alarm's been trusted for over 90 years of keeping your family safe. Guardian Alarm, your local security networks. Big D Energy. Be right back.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brady Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Welcome back, Big D Energy here. Easy sitting in for Neil, Fish, and Sawyer. And because Uncle D is driving a pontoon, and we just celebrated who won Castroneves?
Oh, yeah, Helio Castroneves,
Helio
baby.
Spider-Man Castroneves, the first man to win the Indy 500 and the 24 hours of Le Mans or whatever. What is it?
24 hours of Daytona.
24 hours of Daytona.
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for Le Mans.
Darren McCarty, four-time Stanley Cup champion, I'm not only going to give the quarter mile, I'm going to give the whole segment of motorsports to Sawyer.
Whoa.
So Sawyer's going to be out the next 2 days. He's going up for fun in the sun.
Snow.
Snow.
He's fun in the sun, snow. He's going to be up there. So I want to send him off good, and I want to make sure because not only the motorsport stuff, but everybody knows I'm a huge NASCAR fan, so this is going to fit in good. So without further ado, Mr. Sawyer Bench.
All right, baby. Here we go. Hey. Debut of the quarter mile. I mean, what an honor, right? But, I mean, we're talking about the quarter mile, Sawyer's quarter mile, so we might as well kick it on over to the quarter mile they got over there in L.A. You know, they got the Coliseum. Look at that track, D-Mac. Beautifully paved finish. You got the sunset in the background. It's just waiting for this weekend. 6 o'clock, they go green.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
look at that. I'm
here's
so
the
excited.
unique thing, right? They transformed the LA Coliseum into a half-mile track. They've never had a race there before. They had to take where the field is and put it all on there. Explain to people, when you say half-mile track, and I say, oh, bumper cars, what do I mean by that? Because what people who tune in who haven't seen it, and yes, this is one of the races where they're going to be going left all 4 times, but that steering wheel ain't turning at all. What can they look forward to, and what would you compare this race so when people hear later on this season, they know, oh, that's going to be like that first race we watched in LA.
Yeah, so this is like really when you go into NASCAR, there's kind of 4 different types of tracks. You'll get your super speedways, which are about 2 miles, 2.5 miles, the real fast ones. Then you get your Michigan, Daytona, Talladega. Then you'll get your mile and a half cookie cutter tracks, which is like the Kentucky's, Kansas, Texas Motor Speedway, so on and so forth. Then road courses, obviously, left and right turns, pretty easy. And then what the Coliseum is and other tracks are short track races, which are under a mile. So that's a lot more tightly packed on the track. Cars are way closer together. Top speed's not as high. They only hit probably like maybe 120, 130 on the straights, but that doesn't really matter because the cars are literally inches away from each other. And it's literally just nonstop action the whole time. You know, trading paint,
Robin's
like
racing.
just getting so close to each other. It's my favorite type of NASCAR racing. Bristol, my favorite track, bucket list track. I've been to Martinsville.
Have you?
One of my favorite
have you
races
ever been
to go
to Bristol?
to. I've never been to Bristol. That's
a
bucket
trip.
list for me. Yeah,
we're gonna have to make a bucket list trip. Bristol's
Oh, yeah.
a night race too, right? So
they got a day and night. So it's
really?
beautiful.
So, and here's the one thing, like for everybody who's not a fan, and it took me and God rest his soul, my friend Tim Harris, who probably about 10 years ago got me into it to realize that if you watch it, it's not just 4 left turns. And then, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be to races and understand the intricacies behind it and stuff like this. But it is exciting, and it starts off. And what does it say to the growth, or I guess to where NASCAR is, to be able to go? Because this is a big deal to go into the Coliseum, and especially as sort of the exhibition before Daytona, which we're going to break into next week. But Daytona comes up the 20th, right? So the week after Super Bowl?
Yep. So, just this race itself shows really how much NASCAR is trying to grow and spread its wings and meet new demographics and just different age groups of people and everything. And another reason that kind of reinforces this and shows that NASCAR is growing out into different, even sports almost, is the Trackhouse Racing team owned by Pitbull. A lot of people know him.
Yep.
They've actually partnered with Dana White and Howlerhead Whiskey to sponsor Ross Chastain's car. I mean, look at that thing.
Wow.
That thing is sick.
That's my and boy, I think that's so. If you want to take a pulse of the narrative of what's going on, is that this is starting. NASCAR is more so not what it used to be, the bootleggers. This is going international.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you mentioned the driver. You know, you said they mentioned that, but another one of Pitbull's drivers is Suarez, isn't it? Right? So Daniels, they're bringing in that Latino, right? I think what you're finding in NASCAR, more like your open wheel F1, it's becoming more of a global sport.
Yeah.
And people realize how they can get involved. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, right? Down the road, if the Darren McCarty brand gets us some way, this is one of the ways that I would love to get the advertisement out is on a car, because I'm a fan. And because helping these guys out, and the fact that you mentioned, who'd you mention? Ross Chastain, the watermelon guy.
Yes, sir.
Smashes watermelons after he wins because he grew up growing watermelon farm. But what I'm saying is that that's a guy to put your money on. There's a lot of nice, good young guys. It's a great influx in the series and the system and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, even more so on the other style of fighting, the main man himself, best boxer of all time, Floyd Mayweather, started his own racing team too, the Money Team Racing Team, and they've partnered up with Pit Viper, and they're trying to qualify a car for the 500 as well. And they have Kaz Gralla from the Xfinity Series piloting the car.
Gralla's a good driver.
Oh yeah, they got ECR engines, so Richard Childers powered.
Well, I would think that money's
money's
not an object, even though we're getting into that. Like, this is the $1 million club, not the $1 billion club, but there's a lot of money going on. But it just shows the interest and hopefully how much. Like, I think so. These guys get into it. It opens up more eyes to the sports, and I think the different types of racing helps too. You know, different guys, and that's where you see different guys. You know, like the mile and a halfs, the Martin Truexes, the Kyle Bushes, the things like that. The guys that run a little bit different, because then Sawyer's going to get into packages. What package are they running? What do they run in the half mile? 550s or 750s?
For what, like aerodynamics and all that?
Yeah, like
it's definitely it's the smaller bill, I assume, so less downforce.
Here's the thing: is that you'll get to understand is that the cars are always to the track set up differently because they have to be. Like the super speedways, they have to control so they don't go too fast, which can happen. So a lot of stuff to be learned.
How hard is it for like one of those new teams to qualify? like the Mayweather and Pitbull?
I mean, all you got to do is you just got to have a guy who's fast enough, and your car has to be set up right to like be fast enough and make that
So what it
threshold,
is
but
you get the right people in place. If you have the money, then you can purchase. It's supposed
What
to
you
be
need.
that way, but you still need everything to go together. That's
Yeah.
why the ones that have been doing it all. That's why when you hear of a Childress, Penske, even Keselowski and stuff, where did they just go? But Hendricks and stuff like this. So,
do those guys sign contracts like NFL
Yep.
players, like 5-year
Yep.
contracts and like free agents and stuff like that?
I think they're. Sorry, would you say they're more 2-3 year contracts?
probably depends on the driver and like how well they're doing. But yeah, it's like a 2 to 4, maybe 5-year contract with the team.
How often do they switch? Like from what's his name in cars? He goes
team
to
team.
Rusty's and.
Well, I mean, it just depends. Like it's kind of like an NFL player. You know, like your contract's up, and I mean, if I raced for Richard Childress Racing, Hendrick could just call me and be like, "Hey, Sawyer, we're going to offer you $50 million for 5 years to come race for us," and I just be like, "Oh, kick the curb, ECR. I'm going over to Hendrick."
Is there like a Patriots or like Dynasty like team that always is like the best driver? Or
I mean, over the years, it's definitely been Hendrick has been one of the big ones. The Toyota team, drawing a blank. No, it's not Richard Childress.
Penske's.
Joe Gibbs Racing. Joe Gibbs Racing has been huge. Yeah, Penske's been big. A lot of big names.
Chris
out
is
there.
waving the yellow flag. I think that means the snow is starting to accumulate. So, Sawyer, you be safe. We look forward to seeing you next week. Easy to see you tomorrow. Fish, thank you, everybody out there. Be safe. This is Big D Energy. Deuces.
Gang, gang.